Hey, how are you? So I just saw a message from one of my clients this morning, and my biggest goal with everything is always to simplify down to the bare bones of what will actually close the gap between where I am and where I want to be. I don't want to do anything that doesn't close the gap, right? And turns out that the things that close the gap are actually, it's always a handful of things, like 2 or 3 things. And in this case, one of the big keys in fat loss is steps, like just getting enough steps. And, we're not going to get into why the steps are so important, but, rest assured, if you track your calories, weigh yourself, and get enough steps, you are going to lose all the weight that you want without doing anything else, okay? And so, she sent me a message this morning, and it just really represents the thought process and the mindset of a person who is going to succeed. It's just a matter of time. And it doesn't necessarily matter how long it's taken you, what you've done, how you've messed up. Like, none of those things actually matter in you closing the gap. Because remember, we want to make this, we always want to have equanimity, right? Like I've talked about, equanimity is evenness of temper, not reacting emotionally right away to things, being able to choose your response, having space between something that happens and then your response to it. And here's what she said, right? Because that's one of our focuses. It's raining, or it was, and might rain again throughout the day. I was thinking to myself, how am I going to get my steps in today, and thinking of ways to get it in around the house, etc. Then I realized I'm just trying to make an excuse. Yes, it's raining. It's not raining. It's intermittently raining. So what? That's what umbrellas are for. So you see, like, as she walks herself through the thought process and then observes herself, rather than just being, going by default of like, don't let your thoughts just kind of carry you away and you have no idea like why you feel the way you feel. This is actively participating and guiding yourself. So in previous episodes, we've talked about course corrections. Like, that's a huge thing for me, right? Like, the operating system is about, am I able to make the right course correction for today? Because there will never be a plan that will 100% fit to every single day, every scenario. Like, this just doesn't exist. And if I'm banking on the perfect plan rather than my ability to course correct and adjust, then I will lose, because sooner or later, and most likely sooner than later, you're gonna run into a day or a situation where the plan's not gonna fit. And then that's where what most people do is they're like, screw it, whatever, or I just can't do this, or whatever negative feeling comes, or whatever unpleasant feeling comes with that, right? And so I just wanted to really highlight that, because that's the operating system that we install with anybody that I'm working with, is really changing it from like, and by the way, I got to give her a lot of props, because she's stuck through this, and she just wanted to feel better. Like, that's all she wants. Like, she wants to look good, feel good, and she's been working her butt off trying to get there in a better way, right? And it's happening. And so I don't know if she notices this yet, but I'm going to talk to her later today, but like, I'm going to point out to her, like, look, you just did what we've been working on and integrating into your thinking. You just did it by yourself. And all of a sudden, we go from all of this drama in our head and all of this movement of how am I going to do it? What's going to happen? What if I can? Should I do it in the house? Blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden, that goes to, well, that's what umbrellas are for. Done. Do you see, the drama cannot stay alive if we have that, clarity of thinking and the ability to adjust and course correct. The drama cannot stay alive. And, it's just, there's this inertia and this tug and this momentum. Momentum is not like a random thing. Momentum is physics, right? There's this weight that's gotten moving, right? Like a train moving at 200 miles per hour is going to take a little bit of time to slow it down, right? It just doesn't come to a complete stop. It doesn't work like that. So it goes with habits and thought processes and, behaviors and your operating systems. So this is taking some time, but it's well worth it. It's well worth it. A year of work like this is a lifetime of change forever versus trying to stop it, trying to get that 200 miles per hour train stopped immediately again and again, failing because the momentum is just too strong. Like if something tries to get in the way of a 200 mile per hour train, it's going to get run over. Train's going to keep moving, right? And so, but if you spend the time to slow it down, all of a sudden you can stop it and you can turn it around in the other direction because you're not trying to stop it like all of a sudden. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you. It's all about course corrections and thinking clearly and having clarity and closing the gap. Those are the things that we want to repeat and remind ourselves about. Those things actually matter in closing the gap and going where you want to go, not some special workout, not some I'll probably put out my own training and nutrition and whatnot that I personally do. And it's so boring. It's so boring. At least in the eyes of most people. It's like, it's nothing fancy. It's such simple stuff, but that's okay because it works. It actually closes the gap of what you want, right? And it reduces complexities and increases system reliability like we talked about in the last episode. So that's it. I hope you have a nice rest of your day. As always, if this is helpful, tag me on Instagram, share your key takeaways, shoot me a message. If you would like to work with me, I have a process of kind of discussing what you're trying to do, where you're trying to go, before we work together, because it's very important to me that we're on the same page and we're trying to do this in the same way. There's no quick fixes, and we want to be able to spend enough time and go deep enough to accomplish and really replace the operating systems that have brought you to where you are with operating systems that will actually get you to where you want to go and then allow you to stay there for the rest of your life. So anyways, I hope you have a great day. Talk soon. Later.